呀，啊，玩到哪了？这里我绕过了吧？这应该是往上面走。喷水。轮胎。
Life doesn't need to be. I'll be with you in a moment, officer.
那个吃三明治的人。
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
好不容易采取行动。
You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Already, your muscles are adjusting. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing, an embodiment of pure motion, a fine-tuned locomotor running at me.
傻小。
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot.
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 pool.
滚球。
Yes, pétanque. You ruined our pétanque.
Take it easy, René. This is just a...
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull. Good. Mistakes are forgiven, but men at least try to right them.
Yes. Why did you come here? It's unlikely they know anything about the murder.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the union is the law. Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring...
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
女警察。
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. I know the kind. Gaston here is the same. A weather vane.
Oh, René. If you only knew life beyond confrontations, conflict, and extremities.
Yes. The terrain here, I do. Fire from heavy artillery. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies. Yes, the military coordinated and mountainous was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. There's damn right, son. They let the fire of hell on. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically...
Well, it's your own damn fault.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players of the tape.
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
They're not. And I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world, was what. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted, to replace the role of the suit. It doesn't. That was 100 years ago. Ain't got nothing to do with anything. Damn Frissel. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
A true king in both blood and mind, led Revachol before Frissel. He would have been better, but the suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already? They forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's borders when it happened. When we took our last stand against the Fifth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to... I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. No one. The boss says...
No one has been got.
Yes. It's...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that boot.
The possibility of someone being in there isn't...
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now? She...
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp. Ah, yes.
Oh, absolute.
Cocaine? Cocainum? Sounds...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. Revachol would be a different place if more people realize that.
Don't get started on that again.
The carabinier doesn't reply, but his entire...
Oh, old Philippe was a big fan of the purple nose.
You can't even take responsibility. That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision.
I'm satisfied with this explanation.
Of course.
Philippe III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court...
He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
From what I've seen of the officers of the RCM... but I don't want to get into a debate about drug policies. Right.
28，看一下有没有可以提升从容自若。没有，看起来就整读28。
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez. It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hang. It's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience.
道德国度。
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circle. Yawn. You'd get there. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make... That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the need. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may... What rationality? What sang? What a fucking joke. Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Then you've never lived through real chaos. Sometimes, in the face of great disaster, defending the status quo is progress. The kingdom is partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
这个到底干嘛？
What you want is immaterial.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the book.
All you observe is a...
This is the uniform of the royal...
Don't you mean
You do not speak his name. Right.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
啊！大号滚球。 地震。
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you. A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on. Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several. My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character.
There is stress and unease behind these.
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Well, they run out of money and have to stop doing business.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case.
Yes, please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are also there, sir.
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in the freezing weather. No such thing.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir? Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. Maybe I can tell you about some of our book. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head? Yeah.
No, your mind.
No, he's wicked smart in the stories. Like you, sir, of course. He's just a fictional character. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
这怎么那么多从容自怒？
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good, or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process, or should actually be rich himself. Those are unhappy books for most of the pages. These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and, well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either because she doesn't need a bad man. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end. I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum. I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though. No, I don't know. Yes, she knows books.
What was that? And later, when you get the chance, you should address these issues by getting...
Maybe some about other books? Oh, kings and queens, and I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their...
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
But it does make the famous people more famous. Why would they do that, sir? You're not that old. Maybe you'll do something really important, something that wows the world. Yes, sir. No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks around anxiously. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. She brings out her reddened hands, her nails
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that. You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Because you usually aren't. I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet. There's something you're missing. You have absolutely no idea. Familiar? How?
卖书的。
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Fame. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. Sir, don't be ridiculous. One has to earn one's success.
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the fighting enemy. My philosophy is everyone just getting along. I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture. Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl? Wonderful. Did you talk to her? Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her? Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people...
Denial is the way she copes with criticism.
God, I've told her not to do that. It's disgusting. And I told you to mind your own business. Clearly, you have no idea how hard it is to raise a girl in this economy. She can, if she has enough willpower.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
She stands stiff and severe. She's looking for one, but this...
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and up there. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress. Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne. It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity. He made the initial investment.
Super silent. Almost...
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite. I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand. She's been too busy helping me here. So I assure you, I of all people understand the importance.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into. The woman looks aloof. Her features much softer. Occasionally she
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they?
She smiles and nods, seemingly. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks, featuring an extreme mountains of it. Heroic rows and rows of Hiamdala men blur your vision. You may be 100. Not even close. Man from Hiamdal in hell. Man from Hiamdal and nothing of interest. Only silence and the cosmic... A small mountain of colorful board game boxes.
Wonderful board games, sir. Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children. Friends are technically like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build lousy auras there. No, I've heard they turn people into...
An endless variety. There's also a large hardbound books in a board games section. Who wants to read books? There's a box that says, that price is steep. But then it's the 3rd edition mega set-in supplement. So it makes sense.
这有2款桌游。
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter.
Math. It's really difficult. Like, oh, I found something while you were away. I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping me out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does. Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there. Maybe. It's the hat Dick Mullen wears all the time. You're right. I have to get back to my homework now. Before Mum notices. Man, this is...
You have absolutely no idea. Familiar? How? You must have forgotten something you heard.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
所以我应该点一点在他身上啊。
Hello again, esteemed officer.
博学多闻。
The plaque on the shelf reads,
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, a very influential. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic. Certainly, it's prudent.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside. Browsing through suddenly, a high-speed love, next to Irv's, next to that, Rivasholia.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you.
Several maps have been The maps look old and faded. Your eye, this large map displays Ozon, Laurentide, Fas Alamir disintegrating. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on a north, radiating outwards from you. The suzerain Revachol. With a you can, on Caillou, Revachol. 850 million people. The ocean breaks apart into connections to other worlds. Words pass. You have little idea what they are.
好无可能。
Distant stars. Gods. Perhaps they are gods. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the to the east, rolling hills. Kudon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. No. Coal City is worse. A child. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only... They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing? It's an out-of-date from when some design studio...
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does it?
They didn't get that far. For some reason. A shame. The
Well,
project
I
never got
told so.
going. Would be nice if...
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance. Amidst the various books, these three things, the point of the book, and many others on this shelf, it serves platitudes, while also telling everyone wholeness, unity. When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill. In the book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. There's even a chapter on the ancient Serai.
Sir, I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers.
These shelves are overburdened with books. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual... You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these.
crime fiction. These books greatly over. What's more, they not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't. You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The owner. Turns out he fainted to solve a case. Yes, there's also tragedy calls. For after all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? Perhaps you're drawn to the dark and noirish atmosphere. Is it because the smoking dame in the slinky red dress on the cover is giving you a heart? Yes, it is. The bulge in your pants is embarrassed. Relax. It's not that bad.
Something the matter, detective?
The lieutenant narrowed.
I would certainly say she fits the description, providing that's your type.
Oh.
You see a set of...
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only. Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books.
She speaks almost as if she's trying. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. Just as you're about to...
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off-limits. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
不管我进去。再考虑看。
Let's just talk about...
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. You see a tattered set of curtains and a polyhedron-shaped cage-like trinket. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron. This is a traditional Seminese ward. Inhabitants of Eden, aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do.
Hello again, esteemed officer. I already told you. It's just let it go, officer.
She's so tense, it's a miracle she hasn't snapped in half yet.
I'm not tense, I'm just... Okay, fine. It's just because this... Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture.
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy. Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy. And then there's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence. As if It's not good to talk about the curse, not indeed.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough. Oh, this? No, It's a special Himian. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed.
Desert pygmy shamans.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber. Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
The woman looks aloof. Her features must slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen You're no para-detective. You look nothing like...
You look like one. Hey now, hey. The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
How do you...
Here we go.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means I'll meet, but I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us. If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it? Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Yes, a malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the form of a woman. A witch, most likely. She, or it, must be connected to the curse somehow. Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the end. Oh, and please do return to me after you've...
Unbelievable darkness. What do you discover?
那小女孩都不见了。因为太晚的关系吗？那怎么关门了？
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. The metal feels cold and wet. A thick layer of... That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the... You know this to be the star of Pericarnassus. Or around the large wooden building, you see chunks of... This coin-operated... Why place a tourist attraction?
There was a revitalization project in 49. They got as far as the street lamps and that statue on the intersection before something went sour. I suspect it was... That's odd. I could swear you were a police officer.
你怎么会有钱？弹孔。 嗯，那之后再来逛。这是什么？看起来是一个后门。诶
Are you trying to sneak up?
Apparently, she does logic error. She is not.
Pigs come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking up on me like that?
Hey, what's that noise down there?
“帽子”。嗯。这个是，也好像有一个叫我去那个，这个。
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. You knock silently.
I guess no one is in.
The leather upholstery is, in fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you.
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for. But apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about. I mind that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy. On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Evrard we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we... Yes, presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this. You try to be as silent as you can. Finally, the door as you hold the open door. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure, a little ring. Though there's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines. It looks like the artist is celebrating diversity, but underneath, he's just making fun of these people. Of course, the lieutenant picks up.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota. Evening falls. The vows are blurred and flesh. Lower intestine. The term is metfascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the sort? Yes, women. Women. Men of war. You don't like them. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that women need to stomach truth. You're having a stomach because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you said them. Okay, Yeah, that sounds much better. Traditionalism. You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, brota. There's a slow, painful... It is one of the...
嗯，我的 T 恤好像比较强一点吗？
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but it's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather.
The tenant is...
By old-fashioned, he means very right-wing. The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric.
There must be another way into the building.
上面有的。
I can't get involved in this.
You see a young man on a balcony, nursing.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear Jean.
We will remove the body as soon as possible.
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
No, not you two. Some more
肌
muscular
肉
type.
发达
And
这样。
when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
A downy blanket of white to cover up the miserable poverty of the...
You didn't answer the question.
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
A Sunday friend.
都日朋友。
How intriguing. He doesn't reply. Gesturing. No,
My name? My name is...
that's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice? No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtain? For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost
I am sorry, but I really don't have the info.
But, hold on. What's that? It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there. If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
A stone, like any other, lying in... There's a key beneath it,
Oh.
rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity, we'll just have to go in and see.
就的啊。审计人员的眼镜，号声整抢直接变负的。言人善道，反应速度。靠北这是2楼。我的手上应该要拿个手电筒。手电筒该不会是后电的吧？应该没有。鞋子里面有钱。
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, "No reply." It's a solid lump of metal, but better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. This door has been closed with a padlock. What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain cutters, and it's really not working.
40算了，我72还没有成功。
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with
I don't dispute that you have been charged with protecting the people of a particular...
nothing you can. Cop gives up. This must be it. You know.
I guess.
The leather, in fact.
Let's be honest. Apparently, work I mine, on the other hand, yes.
The door is wrong. You try to be finally as you hold. A row of mugs, a little ring. There's something, it looks like the artist is celebrating. Of course, the lieutenant.
I'm beginning to feel bad.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota. Evening for the vows are blurred. No. When the fascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly quit stalling, Bruta. Yes, woman. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the stomach truth. Because you've said the hard things that others would. Okay, that sounds much better. Tradition. You're going to keep your views, right? There's a slow. It is one of big. See,
Not looking for any trouble, officer. I don't want to.
don't let him go.
Is it really that?
Like a nerve.
All right, but make it quick. I'd even go.
We will
Oh,
Wait, is someone else in?
no, not you.
And when did you...
Last week?
You didn't...
It was my son.
He doesn't.
My name?
That's
No, of course not. No. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place for a moment.
I am.
But it's a son.
Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like this. He could be away. He did leave us. If we find a...
A stone. There's a key.
This must be... We'll just have to...
能挡。他会跟着我的箭，那个跟着我的手，我的箭头。来了。
This door has been closed. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of...
You seem committed to it, so go on.
The shackle...
After you.
回啦。
A plaster cast bust. Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an icon...
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment.
子弹呢？增加标新立异的衣服。标新立异好像已经太多了，应该不用。这是增加，它是外套。不要外套，外套这个很好。毛毛。 哇，好多钱！
You hear someone walking around inside. The walking stops abruptly, but not a poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant?
Let's go. We don't have a...
It's generally easier to do things if you...
明信片。那个婆婆在扫地。
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. I'm fine. Fine. Now, what?
She's the cleaning lady.
I'm no one. If you can call it living, it's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't.
And all she gets, too. The coastal, she hasn't spoken to anyone for a while. Even her sentences feel rusty.
Yes, yes. I know who you...
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear...
What's he in trouble for? Talk?
What was so funny?
He lives upstairs in room 28.
Thank you. We should...
Ask away, policeman. No one lives there. It's been empty for... Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a police. Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always lit. Oh, that one is a scientist. A future scholar. I think he studies astrology. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall. That's what I said.
The lieutenant shakes his head, as though to say, she mumbles some kind. You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the foot. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is big.
Do I have to? Do you have a warrant?
Let's go.
It's generally easier to do.
Excuse me?
You have plenty of reason to enter.
Oh, come on.
Well, that
was smart.
药物。鞋子。啊，间接征税模式是什么啊？间接征税模式，我可以随便跟人家征税吗？
The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk straps. After spending an entire day hustling, who's to say that you didn't deserve a pair of ridiculously expensive shoes? Beautiful things give you a rush. It's power. Remember, when they come to take it away from you, you worked for those shoes. They're either a gateway drug or a boot. Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way. A little. You make money. You got gills, babe. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer. Sure, sure. And has it been easy? Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? Boo-hoo. The system is broken. The establishment is keeping me down. That's not the fuck yeah attitude you're used to. What is this? Why? Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam covered. Aren't taxes almost non-existent in the Gossamer state? That is Revachol. You and I both, but they got those indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty. 98% of all your money.
Huh?
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
自由市场还可以接受一点点。全部接受。
Here you go, hustler. Fight the righteous fight. Free the people.
啊，我这边我这个接受它，这接受也是负的、靠背。这些到底要干嘛？我也看不太懂。在我研究的时候会降低。那感觉这些思维是不是全部要接受？
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm...
Boy, there are a lot of different keys there. More than 20, at least.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour. I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. It was some kind of a moribund old man.
A sudden serious look crosses her face.
But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry. It is. Everyone says the real estate agents don't do anything. But so the sooner we get this over with, the better. Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us, and again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes. A hole in the wall. Can you build?
The sum must have been puny.
Well, it does not disappear from my hands. No, I don't let it. Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have both apartments are now unrentable. Both. Of course.
这是什么？嗯？嗯？
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping.
Master Investigator. You just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places. Attaboy, the world's secrets were made for you.
Give me a moment. I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them. Yes. Well.
Your statements are too...
好像要回去嘞。
That isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram.
I'll keep my armistice handy, detective.
He doesn't actually reach for the star and even today, half a century after, the star to symbolize the top. Also, some social democrats were already used because white is the wreath of antlered smug superior.
Hmm, 他怎么还在？弄完了。哟，好多人。
Hello again, sweetie.
The theme on that pinball machine, clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the The sentiment is called...
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real. Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an
Forgive me for saying this, but I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Not until you bring me...
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done.
哎呀，怎么失败了？嗯。
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio mic.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transporting.
Transport enclosure. The cage at the back of the motor.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity. A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. I don't know, is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cop with spinners.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
As I said, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier. Yes, the Bird's Nest Roy, near the canal.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when...
No, that would be silly. Exactly.
The spinners shine so bright they reflect on the lieutenant's glasses.
All right, let's not take them now. Then, come back once we real...
我的支票能当25块啊。
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? You must be joking, right? You come here, trash everything. This isn't a game show. I'm not going to accept it.
You can cash it in at the local fleet near the harbor gates, though it might not be enough to cover it.
Like what? I was really enjoying talking about the money you owe me. Do I have a shaker in my hand?
It's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's hot.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? That's right, I'm the cafeteria manager.
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple? Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix. What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union. They come here in the evenings.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something. They probably fucking killed...
I have a feeling we'll make their...
What?
By the way, you should come back to this.
Another thing. Great. I love, though. Yes? Absolutely out of the...
Absolutely in the question. Your body is ready, sire.
这是厨房。
You see a heavy steel door with the old cobalt paint. The door does not budge.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Yes.
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
It's hardly worth a title. Anyway, God is the person to ask.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. Or some boring storage space with a button.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay. A little. But So, I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over. Yes?
没有钥匙。
You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray. The living shit. Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer. How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that. Good. They'll make you stronger. And plus, smoking them gives massive.
哎，我已经回不去了。
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. Still, the lieutenant gives you a quick. The worker is in a deep slumber. The man does not mind.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait.
这里还有那个教
Use
学
magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
I have something here we could sell.
Transport enclosure. Radio.
Hello again, officer. I'm a Nighthawk.
There's a little meanness in that smile.
不知道现在要干嘛。
The dented yellow milk.
Oh.你的衣服。
The streets will flow red once more. A great heart.
The streets will not flow red with anything.
I'm Cindy the
骷髅
fucking
头
Skull.
兄弟。
What else do you want to know? date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pigman. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
A brush? An artist? The red splatter is urban expressionism. The lieutenant furrows his brow at another. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the woman on the boat does not notice.
That Ozon her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore.
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling you should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? We rarely see pigs round here, though. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the...
She means the opposite.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and
Actually, there is a shortage of people who...
We weren't put on this earth to make your life. Can't you tell? I haven't really started it. This place is severely I thought I'd mix it up, yeah?
Let's be realistic. What are you...
You heard your partner, Piggy. Watch your back.
Lonesome, long way home.
Here
we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district.
啊？五感发达的学习上升为5，好烂！会不要吗？上升为5要干嘛？五感发达上限为5，五感发达是哪一个？嗯。快速玩，快速玩什么？还花1点遗忘哦，真的假的？花1点遗忘的意思吗？真的欸。就花1点来开锁。这也是空域。
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But yeah, you got me now. The dynamic.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Red dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
Oh.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo. Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
裤子，怎么都是死水之味啊？
Hello again, officers. Ooh. Not only have you found my address.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me. Does anyone in a city like this? It doesn't have to do anything at all. No.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set loose on the streets. It's too calm right now.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it? I ain't no snit.
Actually,
we weren't put on this earth to make your...
旁边这有一个箱子，差点就漏了。
Give me a moment.
A striking woman leans against.
Good evening, officers. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Leighton, my maiden name. I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this...
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from a...
There's a trace of irony in it. It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation. Why, yes I am. The boat? No, it is called Cordelati. Now, it's a pleasure craft. A 19-pace. My slough? I like it.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou. We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol. It's for crossing long distances in a greater...
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. Why what? Stop thinking. Take her down. Have it your way.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft.
The crowns of her teeth up, her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act. A law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
The boat? No. My slough?
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with them.
Of course there are. Yes, we are. We are on. I haven't seen...
Actually, it's for cross...
Neither is...
You need to make this lady admit she's only... You have the guns and the ammo. Take this Clausen fiend down.
Oh my. The E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator?
Then what does that say? Does it say 33A? This old proletarian haunt here? As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
Your synapses flesh.
You mean eel's hips. But point taken. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, light, interminably bourgeois boat. Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption?
Detective.
Then what does 33A? Yes. Anyway. Oh my, the E word.
Detective.
Then what does that say? 33A? Yes. Anyway, good. What we do.
There was a touch of discomfort there.
The Pines' core competency is logistics, and that is the terminal.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Saint-Baptiste, LUM.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. And to think, there are years when the group Walpines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salary. They started as an exploration. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? We built this district.
We. There it is. She owned
all the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, before Martinez was swallowed by a company getaway. For a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution.
with your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Late.
And how are the talks?
They're not. That's the problem.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject. Let's say I was not.
And when did you first?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the.
But the strike began in.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare.
This isn't the first time.
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes, both times.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Mr. Clare told him to fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator. Mr. Clare has worked with. There are leaflets everywhere. Every worker.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear.
Excuse me. From whom did you hear about?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his event.
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean the hut?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
The scab?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these strikebreakers were organized...
It's implied.
Everard Clare is a man of the... of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine...
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Oh, heavens, no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop him. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Have you seen him? Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must organize labor at its best, as they say.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried and your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate. I'm glad you asked.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't run.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. Holly. I don't even know if it's a downright haunting, if you ask me. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badges.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh, dear. I do believe you, naive as that may sound.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't...
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Of course. But before... The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business... You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare? Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would... Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic.
The position of my unusual colleague.
Of course. And I don't... How could I stop you?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about the... Tell her she'll like you for it.
Hmm?
Oh. That's...
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear he's able to contain the...
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go wrong.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun? Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Of course, Detective. Should something come until then, is there anything I can help you with? This
Yes, an experimental side case.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover. Martinez is a district of Revachol. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. I'm not a good ambassador. Now, as I told you, Martinez used to be a province. It's not really a sea, it's the yes. We're on...
Known to the early Revacholians as...
Caillou, as you already know.
It is clear this, and to humanity at large.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call the Great Kai, history detective. They built this city to resolve history. In the DeLorean century, the nations of the Occident, or migrant workers, they say it's where the terrible question... By that I mean, we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island, able to sustain up to 200 million people. Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
A sparkle of lights on a night...
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the...
Silence. The water, the light. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need...
Was there something else you want?
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Monsieur will be here later too, and...
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. These are unimportant times, detective. For the big time, the revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the... Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40... Oh, and the anarchists.
She likes the totality of it.
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Yeah, it was a...
Yes. The insulin... Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Which one? Actually, it doesn't matter. King Guillaume has always been my favorite. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderful... The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean... Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective. Some were rich enough to stay with the They didn't win so much...
We. She's one of them.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. The liberals took everything that wasn't near... The coalition of nations. The moralists believe in keeping at least not in the same... This is their zone of control. They embolden the...
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International.
A devout man of the center. The turn of the century... The revolution began in It wasn't a who, but a what. It made people overthrow... Of course not. From Revachol and Why? You and I, officer. A city-state divided into the zone of control, modernity. They developed the
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war. The 30s? No. It was a market mirage. Welcome to reality.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
They picked the winning side. That's why they... Perhaps it wouldn't have turned... I would have sided. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Why, of course. No. I would say the apes were... new. On the other hand... Good question. What would you have done differently? You and everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Good question. And I asked you, past less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy?
A cold creeps up your spine.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The charge dissipates into the dark. A dog barks. A gun.
There is.
Good hygiene. Really. When they failed to step up...
Opinions expressed here do...
And what is your...
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way.
Understandable. They are what they are, anyway.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. I am an ultra...
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking.
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, yes. I can see you thought our kind were all extinct.
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
A devil, who being of great charm...
That dialect is Ubisunt. You recognize it's a quote. Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately
Maybe you remember more than you let on. Despite whatever brain damage the alcohol may have inflicted. I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were, with due respect to our overlords, the Eternal.
While a gentle wind...
I would not have relinquished...
She realizes her...
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down, yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar reed? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah! This is the pier of Rue des Saints-Ortu. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements. This one used to be 8 to 10s, mostly the urban middle class, I believe. Splat, splat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears...
Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rags. Ah, yes. There's something very satisfying. The girl in the old... Looks like a sullen and rebellious Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. She prefers a fantasy world. An infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion. Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people... All right.
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're...
And what would that be?
She lets out an...
My reality-impaired colleague is not so far. Many of the RCM's fashions, even weapon preferences, borrow heavily from classic... But please, do...
Yes. Let's.
这个好低哦。
Glad to have been of assistance.
怎么还有那么多？
The little that I know. Anything else? More lessons in basic reality. Glad to have been of assistance.
Is what you want to say. But look at that lady. Take a well-kempt, yet positively while dull orange pearls hang from her hair. These are the kind eyes within reason. Now look at you. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... Shame? You haven't really been in the presence of gentlefolk either, have you?
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
为什么间接关税变成不同意？间接课税不同意。
Of course, Detective.
Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of indirect modes of taxation. Turns out, those Financial Oversight Committee gangsters stuffed millions of hard-earned dividends. The Jamrock Shuffle. In a way, yes, you are treasure.
怎么一堆富人？好了，先玩到这里，拜拜。觉得他这文字好让人难以理解，有好多一些政治社会类的专有名词。好了，不管了，先到这里，拜拜。